You are watching the Pittsburgh Penguin Fan Show on the Fan Media Network. I'm your host, Joe Bartnick, a Pittsburgh Penguin fan. Joining me now, Pittsburgh Penguin fan, my good friend, Puck Off co-host, the one and only Andy Picaro. Andy, we're all tied up 1-1. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, the split is what you hope for when you're playing a good team, an even matchup, and both teams have it going back to Long Island.
Yeah, I mean, a much happier post game than we had on Sunday. So it's good. You know, a lot of things to talk about this show, but the best is it's tied. So, kind of no harm, no foul. Now it's the best of five. We'll do our couple positives, our couple negatives. My big positive, obviously, Jari played excellent. The goal he gave up was fine. Josh Bailey seems to kill us, and he got one by him. But he played with the puck a lot. He was standing tall. He was big in net. He was out in front of his crease. He seemed to track the puck well. Can't ask for a better game from Jari. I don't know what you saw, if you saw anything different than I did. Did you, or feel the same way?
As far as the game from Jari, no, I thought that was a huge bounce back game. That's exactly what they needed from him. I thought that anything shaky or any, level of him not being able to do it was going to be a mess for the Penguins.
Yeah.
So that was really the biggest thing of the game. They could have even tied and lost that game. As long as Jari looked good, I would have still felt okay going to Long Island 0-2, as long as Jari played well. That really was that big of an issue.
Yeah, I did not want to get on 0-2 for obvious reasons, but I just thought, just the way the history is, we had to turn the tide at some point at home. My second positive was the third period. They outshot the Islanders. They didn't sit back. They kind of took it to them in the sense where they were up ice. They weren't just kind of dumping and regrouping and hoping and praying. They were kind of putting it to them a little bit and moving the puck and getting some shots off and just not retreating, which I thought was good. And my third positive I'll get to right now was Sid's wingers came up big. We both thought they could have done better on Sunday. They really showed up today. I thought Rusty, other than his fake practice free throw, 88 seconds, I don't know what that was about. I thought Rusty played great. And Snake was everywhere. I mean, Jake could have had a hat trick. Jake was everywhere. Just getting his nose dirty and just playing snake playoff hockey. Your positives, Andy.
Oh, well, my first positive was Jari response. We've already gone over that. And then, my second positive is the Penguins' forecheck besides like the last 10, 12 minutes of the second period. The Penguins' forecheck was unbelievable today. I thought it was one of the better games they've had all year as far as getting on the puck, getting deep. And they were not bothered at all. The forecheck was not thrown off at all by the physicality of the Islanders. They didn't care. The Islanders were trying to out-hit the Penguins' speed. And again, I'll take that matchup all day long. It's not working right now for the Islanders. Again, the Penguins had a terrible second period. If the Penguins play a competent second, the shots aren't even close, and I think they win by 2 or 3.
I agree with that statement, but it's hard to hold back a team like the Islanders for 60 minutes. So at least the final 20 was good. There's going to be 10 in there where, they're not playing, I pick who stinks, they're not playing Buffalo. They're not going to have a whole 60,
Yeah, but I there was one point where the shot lead went from like 12 to then they were down by like 2.
Absolutely.
Like they kind of were really like they let the Islanders more than bring it. And I think another big thing right now, and hopefully cross fingers it keeps happening, Matt Barzal hasn't been Matt Barzal yet. And again, if that's going to happen, the Penguins got to win because he's going to turn into Matt Barzal at some point. He's
right.
going to Hulk it out and have a hat trick.
Well, that's getting back to your other point. Because like I'd have been much happier going in 2-0 than 2-1. Let them get their first goal early in the third. I didn't like when Trotz was only down 1 and had a chance to regroup. Let's just get into the third up to your third point. Positive point.
My third positive, well, I just like I said, I guess it was I wrapped it up with the fact that the Penguins' physicality, it's not having them shy away. Blueger's really going at them. Everyone wants to kill Gensel. They really are responding to the fact that the Islanders are trying to hit them, and the Penguins, instead of responding with throwing straight right jabs and getting into it, they're letting the Islanders take the extra penalty. Tonight, the Islanders took an extra penalty in the scrum. Usually when the Penguins get tied up into things, they're the ones to take the extra two. Right now, the Islanders are the ones that are getting caught with their hands in the jar.
Okay,
but the Penguins' power play stinks.
I was going to say, well, this leads me to my negatives, which kind of all roll into one. All three my two negatives. That being, power play stinks. It stinks. So you're letting the cheap shots happen. If your philosophy is, well, we're not going to retaliate, we're going to let our power play do the talking, well, you got to score some goals. It just stinks. Sid's losing that first face-off, and it takes him a minute to regroup. The second power play is actually better than the first. We'll see when Gino gets back. All the people say, oh, Gino, keep McCann on the power play. Like I said a month ago. Put the Hall of Famer out there. Maybe he was going to just blast one by a countryman from Russia. Second thing is the cheap shots. I mean, they're really – I'm not saying it's Philadelphia Flyers level of cheap shots, but, Dumoulin could have got killed. Jake could have got killed. Tanev could have got killed. And there has to be a little pushback. I don't care. Rodriguez, intent to injure somebody. I mean, somebody's got to show a little bit of backbite. And I know it's not going to happen because the Godfather's not going to come in, even though he just got called up, because the next man in is probably going to be Gino. So who are you going to take out? But, I like to see Godfather. I can see somebody hit somebody really hard. Tanev had a good hit, and the rest of it, we got to inflict a little bit of pain on them. A little bit somewhere.
Bluger had a pretty good cross-check deep in the game, sort of a fight-back cross-check. But I really thought that, Pageau, I thought he just played great. And I thought, he almost killed Dumoulin. But the inertia of that play, I give Dumoulin credit for going in the corner at that speed. When you go in the corner at that speed, there's like a 50% chance that it's not going to go great for your body. I think – that was me, more Dumoulin just being an absolute gamer. Yeah, Pageau gave him a shove on his way in, but I mean, that's Dumoulin being Brian Dumoulin, not caring at all about his body and just making the play.
As much as I thought he was hoping it. I don't know if he'd have done that if it was Rodriguez. I think he was hoping Dumoulin would get hurt. It's Dumoulin. He's wearing an A. It's good to not have Dumoulin out there. But I thought, the two-hander from Komarov on Sid. I thought they went after Sid a little bit. I definitely thought, Martin just cheap shotting Tanev in the back of the head. Somebody could have came up and cross-checked him in the face. I'm sorry. You got at some point you got to take a penalty. You can't let everybody get hurt.
The one kid, and again, they got to score in the power play, but the one kid today, the Islanders, I thought for sure Letang was going to take the extra two, and I forget who took the extra two for the Islanders in that scrum. I think right now
Oliver Wahlstrom.
It's not working. Wallstrom, yes, that's right. Wallstrom, he had quite a day in and out of the box, right? But I think that he's the kind of guy that's going to make those kind of mistakes, but they have to make them pay. Like you said, the power play has to get better. And Gino being gone, there is no threat up top. There's no threat up top. You take away wherever Sid's at, you put two guys down, in front of 2 lanes in front of Sid, and all of a sudden the power play's got nothing. And nothing against Rusty and Jake, but they're not Gino at the point. There's no threat up at the point, and right now with no threats, I mean, whenever Gonchar was taken away from the old school power plays, 09, 2010, what happened? Those power plays stunk. So you need your point threat. You need it.
Hey, Gino, Snake has a great shot, and Rusty has a good shot. They're not Evgeny Malkin. They're not going to the Hall of Fame. People can knock Gino all they want, this and that and everything. One shot can change. One shot changed everything when they played on Sid's 1,000th game. Remember, he's at the blue line. He fired a puck, and they won that game against the Islanders. Yeah, turned the whole season around. So,
Russ bread and butter's sort of tighter into the net, and Jake's bread and butter's sort of top of the circle. Is a little bit lower than Gino. That center of the slot, high slot, point shot from the center of the point. It just isn't there from anybody right now. Hey, heck, we don't even have Schultz to put that shot on net right now. So there's nobody to put it on.
And tonight they had some trouble entering the zone. Gino's the one man. We're in the zone. You cannot like his second pass, but he's in there. All right, the LinkedIn Fans Special. Fans connect with me on LinkedIn, and you will see this show on your LinkedIn feed and leave questions and comments, and we will get to it, although we've been playoff busy. All right, moving ahead, Game 3, Thursday night. I think it's a very big game for us to win. I'll tell you why. Saturday is the dreaded afternoon game. I love to get Thursday. So then, you know what? Saturday's a bonus. We win that, we come home. If not, if we lose, we come back. It's a best of 3. I'd like to get first blood up there on Thursday night. I'd like to see Gino play Thursday night too. And people questioning his toughness, please. It's Conn Smythe. He escaped Russia. You people haven't escaped your bedrooms in your parents' house, please. But that's my final thoughts.
I believe these are the 2 best home teams in the league. I could be wrong. That's me going off of memory. If they're not, they're both top 3 or top 4. This is going to be big. Win on the road. If the Penguins can win on the road, if the Penguins can take that one game early on the road and shake the Islanders, where they've been so much better at home than on the road, just like the Penguins have been, whoever breaks that cycle is going to win this series. If the Penguins can win one early and really take the home ice, now only need to win 2 at home. I mean, it could be huge. It's everything. But I still think the Penguins are in control no matter what. Until they hit that 3rd loss, I think they're in control. And so I'm feeling good about it. I feel good no matter what, as long as it comes back 2-2 at least.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's 1-1. Haven't seen the big guy yet. Good stuff. That's Andy Picaro. Well. I'm Joe Bartnick. That's our show.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.